So guys, here we are at my computer, and today I'm going to be picking on, and I mean nothing negative by that, Semper Solaris. Now these guys, they're doing Facebook ads, they're doing search engine optimization, they're doing Google ads, they've got landing pages, dedicated landing pages. So this is like a really cool kind of company that I've picked out, I think, in terms of being able to showcase some aspects of digital marketing. These guys, I think, are doing pretty reasonable. It's hard to find some data, and I didn't look too hard. No offense to myself, I didn't put in the effort there, but nonetheless, these guys are covering the facets that I want to cover in these styles of videos. So this is their website, and it's a reasonable website. I'm not going to talk about this too much yet. What we're going to do is we're going to dive into the Facebook ads library and check out some of the ads that they're running. They've got a pretty unique strategy here. So what we have here is a whole series of ads. If I just scroll down, I'll stop here. You can see attention, LA, and if we scroll down, they're being pretty geographical specific with their targeting of ads. So kind of like a little bit of like somewhat geofencing in some ways, or it's just geography targeting, I would suspect, as opposed to geofencing. But you can see here that they're targeting specific geographies, but they're trying to personalize the messaging to that geography, which is fantastic. And if we scroll down more, I think I saw San Diego as well. There we go, San Diego. So essentially the same core messaging of the ads and the same core imagery, etc. But just attention San Diego, calling out the audience that is going to be receiving this ad. But if we have a deeper dive, we can see the styles of ads that they're having. So if we just have a quick look at their ads, we can see that the Tesla battery and solar kind of combination is of the focal point of their ads. Now we can see here that they've got a video ad, and you will be able to hear this, but we're not going to watch the whole thing. It goes for a minute. So this ad is kind of probably at the awareness stage. They're trying to capture interested prospects at Bakersfield or Inland Empire. We'll see the video ad for Inland Empire. Here we've got the Bay Area. Here we've got another one for San Diego, so on and so forth. So what they're doing is they're capturing interested prospects, and then people that I would assume that watch 50, 75% or 90+% of this video will go into a custom audience to somewhat see, I would suspect, these other styles of ads which are more offer based. 12 months, same as cash, get Semper Solar and Tesla Powerwall. So it's very much an offer base, but I think if they offered that straight away, it wouldn't work anywhere near as well. All the landing pages for these ads are the same. It's the same landing page, no matter what style of ad is being shown, which is fine. It appears to be congruent, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. But you can just see that they've got a couple of different style-based ads here, mostly all the same in terms of verbiage, but they're only testing the same a slightly different image, which essentially they're both the same image. Let's be honest here. Both featuring a battery, the Tesla battery. It's the same core text and offer here, headline, same kind of credibility building factors or branding kind of factors here. Testing this very similar stuff usually doesn't yield or that bigger benefit. You want to be testing like something of substantial difference. So perhaps a radical redesign, a radically different offer, a radical different hook or piece of messaging to see how that works and how the market resonates with that. I think that's a far better tactic. We can see here a slightly different ad. Store and use your solar energy day or night. That could be perhaps someone that watches the video first and then goes into this ad, and then they see the offer ad. Again, that could be another step in that remarketing sequence. But let's have a look at their landing page. So we're going to have a look at their Google Ads landing pages as well, and they're vastly different to this one. This one is far better, in my opinion. I think would be doing a far better job. So what we have here is a limited offer, and we have a countdown timer to support that statement. So that's perfectly fine. And then we have a headline: get Semper Solar and Tesla Powerwall. That's fine. 12 months, same as cash. That doesn't make tremendous sense to me. I think they're trying to say that in 12 months you get the money invested back to you. But yeah, that's a little bit. You need to have some form of prior knowledge, it seems, to understand what that means. Get Semper, Solaris Solar, and Tesla Powerwall and pay zero for 365 days. So there we see clarification of that headline just above. So I don't think that's ideal. Perhaps scratch that altogether and just have this one here. You don't want to be making people as silly as me think about this type of stuff. That's not a good idea. So then we see their first call to action, and we'll come back to that at a later date. So we've got Attention California, and perhaps that does change if we select some others, but we won't bother with that because it doesn't really matter too much. And they're starting to build like a little bit of fear and pain here, just because California's had power crisis, etc., rolling blackouts. You don't have to be worried about these types of things anymore because of the Tesla battery wall. So that's an interesting kind of play. Perhaps that is real. I don't live in California. Perhaps that is a major problem and it's irritating people. We can see like a little funny GIF here of a Christmas movie that the title escapes my mind, but nonetheless, someone can perhaps give me the title of that in the comment section below. Then we see a more financial based offer. Transform your house into an efficient, sustainable home for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. So that's reinforcing this offer up here. So that's great. We just to come here is, I think it's kind of nice here that they're saying that the Tesla battery with this image it looks decent in my opinion. Like, you'd think of a battery's going to look awful, but that looks kind of nice on the wall. I think that's probably Photoshopped, to be honest, but I mean, why would you put it there in terms of outdoor and the weather and stuff? It might be weatherproof, but just seems silly, and you don't really want a battery being a focal point. But nonetheless, it just shows that it's actually quite decent to look at. So moving down, keep your lights on when the power company goes dark. Again, reinforcing that that fear and pain of blackouts and so on and so forth. And as we come down, we see some GIF images again. We've got fires that can cause power issues. We've obviously got flooding, and this is an earthquake. So that's an interesting kind of way to reinforce that these things do happen in California, and this is reinforcing why this is somewhat of a benefit in some way, shape, or form to the product that they're selling. So this is where we start to see the first benefit. You get up to 7+ days of power at your fingertips. So if the power cuts out, the Tesla battery jumps straight in, and you can act as normal around your home, heating, cooling, refrigeration, all those kind of essential stuff, and non-essential stuff as well is enjoyed. So continuous power through an outage, so seamless and reliable. So that's kind of cool. There's a visual, somewhat of a visual representation of 7+ days, so it's easy to digest that information. Then we scroll down and we can see the battery, and we can start to watch a bit of a video about the battery. We'll just quickly see how long that goes for, and we can't see, so that's not that's a bit of a pain in the backside. People do not like starting videos and finishing them when they don't know how long they go for. This is a kind of a cool image in terms of contrast. We can see the lights on here and the lights on nowhere else. So it reinforces that pain point. We've all experienced a power outage at some case, and you always look out the window as everyone else having this, and all you just see is black lights. Not black lights, but no lights. So I think that's kind of a cool image. And the text underneath is supporting that the only way that this image or this home here is, has the ability to have power is because of the Tesla Powerwall. Again, we see that the next financial offer, 0 down, 0 payments until 2021, which is an okay offer. I think that's just 1 year, which is not too bad in my opinion. I don't think it's fantastic, but I think it's not too bad. So moving down, the ultimate power up. Most companies won't tell you that the panels are only half of the solar solution, but it's true. So a little bit of controversy, contrarian based, and you've probably heard about this before from myself, and I'm a big fan of this. People love to hate an enemy, and the power companies are one for a large portion of people. They hate the bills. They feel like the people are taking the absolute, taking advantage of them with their power bills, jacking up the prices, etc. Inefficient ability to supply power in peak demands and things like that. So I don't mind this little part. It's more of a rapport building segment as opposed to a selling segment. It's kind of trying to build rapport with the need and desire of the prospect, as opposed to selling really strong kind of benefits and or through emotion there. It's a little bit of emotion, but I would picture this as more as a rapport building. And then as this text transitions, it moves into, again, another little, meeting your energy demands, slight benefit there. So I'm saying that the first half roughly is rapport building, then moving into another call to action there. So this is another interesting segment here just below, where the government is paying 26% of the cost of your solar energy system, and it includes the Tesla Powerwall. So I think that's kind of cool, and I wonder if that should be earlier in the sequence of communication in this page, because 26% is a pretty decent discount in my opinion, and the financial considerations are a big worry when it comes to things of energy consumption. So I think that's an interesting segment of the page that I think that I would test moving this up higher on the page, and then measuring with something like Hotjar about page scroll and visitor interaction through video recordings and things of that nature, to see how that helps with the interaction of the page and conversion rate, obviously. Then they've got some reviews, some Yelp reviews, which is fine. Then they've got a Panasonic logo that serves no purpose that I can think of. I actually think that's just ridiculous, but I'd remove that because it's not doing anything in my opinion. But overall, I think a pretty decent landing page, and then it gets a little bit more unique. So if we click one of the call to actions, we actually go through a bit of a survey with a couple of pre-qualification questions. So I'm just going to answer them. I live in Florida. I don't really, but I own my own home in Florida. My budget is over $300. No doubt that's a pre-qualification, makes it easier for them to justify the sale of the solar system. So that's kind of unique. The next question, do you already have a solar system installed in your home? No. We want to try and what I think would be the best candidate for this survey. Did you know that you can finance your energy home improvements with Semper Solaris? I think I'm pronouncing that right. Are you thinking of financing? Not sure. We'll go with not sure. And what's your first name? They're going to ask for an email. So my name's Ben, obviously, but I'm going to put Ben because that's the email that Ben Rogers is just a spam email address. And then I think 92131 is a San Diego postcode. So they might be happy with that. And then we'll just go with San Diego. We'll see. Looks like we're going through pretty decent at this stage. And now they're asking for a phone number. So what I've actually done is a little sneaky trick. I've used their own phone number there, and that's not ideal. What I'm going to do here is put in my spam email address and then come back on the next portion, just so I don't get even more spam than I already want. And then the next question after entering the email, I'm ready for my zero obligation free in-home quote. Please contact me to schedule ASAP. There's no wrong answer here because there's only one answer. So yes, I am ready. Submit, press enter. And then amazing, one of our team members will be reaching out to you ASAP. So that's a pretty cool kind of way to pre-qualify people. I would suspect with their Facebook leads that they're getting pretty good volume, but the quality was a little bit low. So they've added these added steps to help pre-qualify people out and allow their sales team to focus on more desirable prospects. So that's a pretty cool kind of feature, in my opinion, and something that is useful for many different industries for that reason of volume with low quality, and if you don't have the sales team to support just pure volume. So pretty unique kind of angle there. So coming over to Ahrefs now, or some people call it something subtly different, Ahrefs, or whatever you want to call it, that's perfectly fine. And let's have a look at some of their paid traffic stuff. So and we'll also have we'll come back and have a look at their organic stuff here as well. So this is just the paid traffic overview. We can see that they've been running ads since all the way back to 2015. So that leads me to believe that Google Ads are working for them. So if I was in this industry, or I had a client in this industry, and I have done things in the past consulting with solar companies with tremendous success, I would be interested in Google Ads based upon my prior experience. But taking that away, that these guys have been doing it since 2015. It's essentially close to 5 years, so something's going well here. But let's have a little bit of a deeper dive, and we'll go into some of the keywords so we can get an idea of where are they allocating their budget. So we can see here that I'm sorting by the percentage of traffic that they're getting via these keywords. So cost of solar panels, which is, I think, a little bit of a slightly, if you're looking at like what style of keyword phrase that is, it's not transactional. The cost is not transactional in my opinion. I think that is a little bit consideration level, maybe towards like the top awareness, informational type of keyword. But let's just narrow down, because we just want to talk about solar. So we'll just say that the keyword phrase has to include solar, because we're getting Lennox dealers and stuff like that. So we've got some interesting stuff, such as don't buy solar panels. I think that's a poor keyword phrase in my opinion. Perhaps if someone is searching that phrase, they're trying to find evidence for both sides of solar, which is someone really unique. But if someone is typing in that, you would somewhat want to believe that they have a predisposition to not wanting solar. So perhaps do not bid there. The only caveat to that is that the cost per click is $0. So that again, that leads me. I actually thought $35 is there, so I was like thinking, wow, if it's $35, there must be something to that keyword, and I've interpreted it wrong. But because there is no CPC cost, I would start to assume that is a pretty crappy keyword phrase. So you can see here that we've got some other kind of interesting keyword phrases. Sunniva solar panels, that could be a competitor. So a bit of competitor bidding there. Triangular solar panels, Orange County, location-based stuff. NJ is New Jersey. Perhaps they do service New Jersey. I've only seen like a bit of California-based stuff with the Facebook stuff. So there you go. Hero program problems. I think that's a poor keyword phrase as well. And then, we can go through some of these and we can see that it doesn't look like their keyword targeting is right on point in my opinion. So they've got some work to do here. And it doesn't seem like they're targeting many of the big, hard-hitting types of keyword phrases. And Ahrefs is not 100% perfect, of course, but there's quite a drop-off here from 8,600, 3,600 down to 3,500, and we don't really see too many big. That doesn't count because we've already counted that one higher. So if we just go through and we have a look and we'll just sort by volume, perhaps we'll see some other big keyword phrases, but we don't. So perhaps some of the head-based kind of keyword phrases aren't working particularly well for them, and perhaps they need to have a look at their strategy in terms of the head keyword phrases backed up with Facebook and Google remarketing and retargeting. That is the way to make the head kind of keyword phrases work. So that could be interesting at some level. We can see that the reason why this is showing up a couple of times, that these are going to site links. So that's the reason why this occurs. But the default landing page they have here is this page here, which is pretty damn poor in my opinion. So I thought the Facebook one was reasonable to good. So, but this one is pretty poor. So let's get the old spear out and start poking holes right through this landing page. So we come here, we know where we are at Semper Solaris, California home. So again, location-based stuff there. Multi-layer defense with Semper Solaris. What does multi-layer defense mean? I'm not quite sure. Go solar, American style. So trying to, a bit of people like to buy from American owned or Australian owned, depending, your local country owned kind of company. So I don't agree with that being having such prime real estate. Multi-layer defense, as I said, that's just garbage. In my opinion, I don't know the understanding of that. But multi-layer defense, I assume, is solar panels and Tesla battery. But where's the Tesla battery? Where's the definition of this? I'm having to draw conclusions myself. You do not want the visitor, as I said, if you've got a prospect as silly as I am, you do not want that person drawing their own conclusions, because they're most probably going to be wrong. So now we move down to a video, and the video has no context to it. Why are we watching, or why would we watch this video? I would assume it's not being watched all that much, and we will perhaps be able to see some proof here by clicking this, and we can see that the video was launched in 2018 and only 70 to 100 views. So I would suspect that this video is not being viewed all that much because there's no context. Why watch it? Give people a reason to watch it. So we have our first call to action here, and it's a little bit of putting the horse before the cart. And what I mean by that is they're asking for marriage on the first date. So someone's first seen this ad, and then they've come to this landing page. We don't know what multi-layer defense is if they're brand new. The video we don't want to watch because we don't know why. And then you can see I'm a fan of Joe Rogan, and I don't know what that is. But and then we see a financial offer. But why would we want this? Like, there's no way to substantiate the reasons why this CTA should have any action taken upon it. So pretty poor effort there. We know you can feel the heat. So oppressive summer heat is here. No, I think California is going into winter. So, this is geographically wrong. We're moving into summer here in Australia. So they're definitely moving into cooler weather there. So that's silly. We'll put a big hole through that. So we'll put a couple of holes, and we're just going to keep poking as we go down through here. AC bills, so big you can't bear to open the mail. And that's probably definitely a fear for some people, for sure. And then we've got, if this train of thought is hitting a little too close to home, then it's time to cut the electric company loose, and etc. Now we see some bills here, and I assume that these are big bills. In Australia, they would be considered, if these are quarterly, pretty decent. People wouldn't be too irritated with these, I would imagine. I would actually be pretty, I know the dollar's different, but I'd be pretty reasonably happy with some of these. Nonetheless, I'm sure they're large and the context is right. But I'm going to refer back to these in a few moments. It's time to flick the switch. Don't let the sun punish you. Make it work for you. Zero down payments. Zero down payments until 2021. Yes, you read that right. This is all salesy, but it's kind of, there's no substance to it. Don't let the sun punish you. Make it work for you. I don't think people are thinking in that way. But nonetheless, I think this whole area is rubbish. But that's my opinion. I would test it by removing it, to be honest, and then seeing the performance. I actually rebuilt the whole page, but nonetheless, for a limited time, we'll move on because I don't want to seem too negative. But for a limited time, free upgrade to a cool roof. I'm not sure what a cool roof is. I'm not in the market for this, so maybe I'm less educated than a normal prospect, but that's okay. New solar system, zero money down, Tesla Powerwall available now, book now. Again, we've covered all this information, and yet we still have no real hardcore benefits as to why we should work with these guys, or why this solar panel setup is good or the right for me. And we have no reason why the Tesla battery, other than the reputation of Tesla. So I mean, they're doing a pretty poor performance here, in my opinion. Again, we see I think the same Yelp reviews. Then we see some third-party credibility. Again, we see this Panasonic logo. Then we've got the 50 years platinum protection, which is, I would assume, like a bit of a warranty / guarantee. And then inherent third-party credibility with the Tesla Powerwall certified installer, which is kind of cool. Move to the call to action here. We have no reason to fill in. Start saving now. Okay, we're going to start saving, but what happens when I fill this form out? A sense of expectation. Uber is winning the taxi war because they're meeting the need of people wanting to know the expectation. So what do I get when I fill the form out? Is an in-house quote, something of that nature. So pretty poor form here, pretty poor call to action, in my opinion. We move across here. This is where we finally start to see some benefits. And if you think about it, it's pretty low down on the page. And the benefits aren't that great, to be honest. So we've got local and veteran owned, which is cool. I don't mind that. Solar panels made in the US. Again, it's inherently saying that the quality is going to be okay. Not the best way, in my opinion, to say, but nonetheless, multi-award winning company. Now, there's a controversial character, and he said many things that are controversial, and it doesn't matter if you love him or hate him. But Christopher Hitchens, I'm not saying I'm a fan of his at all, but I remember him saying once, I haven't heard him, I haven't read anything he's ever written, but I've seen some quotes from him before, and he said I think he said any statement that is not backed by evidence can be dismissed without evidence. So multi-award winning company, where's the proof of that? Like, I see no awards, and unless I missed them, which I don't think I did, and perhaps I just missed them again, but I don't know if you're multi-award winning. There's no evidence to support that. Excellent customer service, everyone says that. Again, if you do not provide evidence with a statement or a benefit that you have on your website, the customer or the prospect will dismiss that without any thought, because it makes no absolute sense. This one is somewhat certified or made credible due to this logo. That's fine. Thousands of 5-star reviews. Again, Hitchens is smashing these guys. Again, this statement is not backed by evidence, therefore it is dismissed without any thought. So just a terrible section there overall. I'm giving it like a C or a D. There's only a few elements there that are worthwhile. Again, this page, I would rate this page as a complete redesign. It needs to be printed off, burnt, and never to be seen again. To be fair, I think they're doing themselves a disservice. I may be wrong, and if I am wrong, well, I'll say that I'm wrong. And but I think they can do a far better job, in my opinion. Okay, so let's have a look at their search engine optimization, and I have found some naughty stuff in here. It's these guys are doing some naughty stuff, so we're gonna find some interesting findings here. So let's start off with some of the generic pieces of information. So we can see that their organic traffic has been slowly growing over the last 3 approximate years. So on face value, doing an okay job. More keywords being ranked for and being placed, which is good. Traffic values going up, so again substantiated by these two. So no doubt they're doing well. We can see that they were doing quite well through this period, and then it petered off a little bit, and that is somewhat supported. So we draw the line up again through this period. So we could probably see that keywords were still being ranked, but lower position. So that is the case, because if you just have a look at the box to the left, between 1 and 306 and 271, and that stays pretty consistent through here. But as we go up, we do see it drop down to roughly 90, and so on and so forth. So perhaps that's the reason for the traffic value drop. But overall, you would say that it's pretty consistent. Again, Ahrefs is not 100% perfect, but in another way to see this is starting to tick this, and we can see that the positions 1 to 3 are slowly going up. And if we just get rid of this, 3 to 4s are going up, and we should, I would suspect, see this also going up, which is good. So that's pretty cool. Now let's have a look at the cheeky, naughty stuff that they're getting up to. So this just stinks of Blog Network. Shame to say, but when you see so many links coming from decent DRs with high URs or low DRs with high URs, it stinks of a Blog Network. We start to have a look, and that absolutely stinks of a Blog Network. Like that's a Blog Network. This one just reeks even worse. So we've got here an aesthetic clinic, and then we'll have something completely different here, I would imagine. Fresno Solar Company. I mean, these aren't related. So stinking Blog Network there, and naughty in my opinion. So I do not condone on any of these practices, and it is a matter of time before these guys are penalized. So pretty poor in the SEO front, in my opinion, and these guys are going to get penalized. There's no kind way to say that, and yeah, disappointing. But still an interesting find. I think it's still an interesting find. Still, people are still seeing success with these tactics. They won't be long term, I can assure you that. So if you're considering this idea, I urge you with every fiber of my being to say, no, don't do this, because you want to be building a business, not building a revenue stream that will not last. And that's what will happen with these guys. So pretty poor in my opinion. So here we are, some of the keywords that they're ranking for. We can see the difficulty is pretty low. So, they're not ranking for terribly competitive keyword phrases. So, we have to go down here until we see solar energy facts, which is not a buying keyword phrase. And it's got low CPC value to support that. Then we've got solar companies, which is somehow still a low keyword difficulty, like a buying keyword, and that's supported by the high CPC here, and that their rankings are improving for that. So, that's somewhat interesting in my opinion, that as contextually overall. Then we can see Panasonic solar panels. Again, I would say that that's somewhat of a loose buying keyword phrase, unless it's a DIY type of phrase. But nonetheless, their rankings are subtly improving there, and the keyword difficulty is extremely low. Solar panel facts, we've covered that one. Facts, again, these are informational based keyword phrases. Then we can see here a pretty decent buying keyword phrase with the ranking of 4, cost per CPC of 40, and a keyword difficulty of 8. So I would somewhat assume that some of these keywords are pretty low in difficulty to rank for. But let's just have a little deeper dive on Solar Power San Diego. So here we are at the Keywords Explorer. United States selected Solar Power San Diego, CPC of 40, so people are making money off this term. We see a difficulty of 8, so AHOS is saying that you'll need 9 decent links in order to rank on the first page, which is nothing. We can see extreme stability here with the people that are ranking. I'm looking at this for the first time, so I'm interpreting the data just as I see it, as opposed to some of the stuff that I've been through previous. I had a quick look at, but this is for the first time. So we can see here some of the pages, and we see DRs that are quite tough in terms of they're well established. Perhaps number 1 and number 10 are the easy pickings. Semper Solaris has a decent DR, so they are ranking for this, the do's and don'ts. So Contrarian based page, what to know before you get into solar panels in San Diego. So that's interesting. I like that. It's completely different to all the others, I suspect, except for this one, before you go solar. So these two are going down the same kind of theme and appeal, which is kind of cool. If we go to referring domains, we can see it is somewhat low level in some ways. The problem is that Yelp has a strong DR, so it's propped up by the DR, and that's why they're referring backlinks to domains are so low. But some of the others that are in contention, such as Solar Estimate, Solar Tribune, and we'll say Alive Solar, that have we'll say low here, but to modest DRs, that they've got links around that 15 to 25. I would say that you could rank quite well even if you have a low DR such as these guys, and we could go into and have a look at the style of links that they're building. But I reckon I would say at the very minimum, if you got 9 good quality links, yes, you would rank. But I would say 15 and 25, and you would rank here quite comfortably. We could go into the on-page factors, but perhaps that's something that someone does want me to go into, the on-page factors and things of that nature. But I'm going to wrap up the video. This is kind of like a little bit of a pilot situation for this video. If you have any feedback or things that I should cover that I didn't cover, or deeper dives into some aspect, or you even more importantly, you have an industry that you would like me to cover, or a competitor that you'd like me to cover, smash a comment in the comment section below. I would really, really appreciate that. This is for you. And if you like this style, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. I'll be producing more videos just like this. And with all that being said, I'll see you in the next breakdown video. Bye-bye.